And Kyle, what happens in this scene is the wife of one of the detectives came randomly to the courthouse where a lawyer that she knew existed, Ken Delvecchio, was in the middle of a trial in order to have a conversation with him about hiring him to divorce her husband.
Yes, divorce proceedings, all that.
And then he goes,
let me see some of those thighs and I'll make
pull your skirt up real slow.
Slowly, pull up your skirt and show me some leg.
Hello and welcome back to the 156th episode of Good Bad Bad Show Watch Terrible Movies.
Hi. Didn't we already do a serial killer movie?
There's also this moment where he pulls out a dental dam and kisses her through it so that he doesn't get his DNA on her, which is really creepy and gross. And like that was at least an actually effective, like creepy serial killer moment. This movie is strikingly similar to our last episode without even realizing it. But anyways, for our 156th episode, we're talking about the 2007 film Kinky Killers.
God, that's such a bad title.
They're victims, missing body parts.
We found all their body parts thrown about the parking lot. All I see is what used to be a white female, the headshot film.
So
the alternative title is not good either.
No, the alternative title, the original title, is Polycarp, which I believe is what it's listed on under IMDb, is Polycarp. Clearly what happened there is that they weren't getting the success in sales that they were hoping for with a title like Polycarp. So they were like, I know, Kinky Killers, that sounds exciting and titillating.
Put a attractive woman up there with leather and blood.
So I literally, as soon as I saw this cover, I was like, Kyle, odds that anything like this makes an appearance in the film?
No.
Zero.
I was shocked with the amount of nudity in this film.
Way more nudity than was expected.
I honestly, I did look to see what it was rated. Not rated, probably a good thing. It would have got an NC-17.
I don't know. It would have been an R, or at least well, I don't know. I watched this DVD because I ordered the DVD. Somebody recommended it, and I couldn't find it streaming, so I ordered the DVD from Amazon or eBay or something. And the DVD says it's unrated. I would say it's pushing unrated, or it's pushing NC-17, but I would say it would probably qualify as R.
What is the seventh and final church?
If I had to guess.
If it had a good studio behind it, definitely an R.
Yeah, there's a couple moments that get close with some of the sex scenes.
If they knew good lawyers who were like, yeah, but I mean, come on.
Yeah. I will just say there wasn't as much nudity and sex as like you might expect from a title called Kinky Killers with this cover that says unrated. It's not exactly.
Now for the also other shocking part that we were blown away about.
I had no idea when I picked this movie.
This one was
I had literally no idea.
This one was just recommended to us, right?
Somebody recommended this, and I saw the cover and was like, "That looks insane." And I watched the trailer, and I had no idea.
Now here's the thing: we did another film that was produced by this guy.
Yeah, He did not direct this, but he wrote and produced this movie, and he also wrote, directed, and produced a movie we've done in the past.
A Karate Christmas Miracle.
And this year, all I want for Christmas is for Dad to come home.
Oh, Jesse, we've talked about this. You know that Daddy isn't coming home.
Ken Delvecchio
is
making
a Ken Delvecchio joint. This
What?
is a Ken Delvecchio joint.
It is 180 from Karate Christmas Miracle.
It could not be more different.
I know this is hard for you, and I know you may not understand what happened, but I need you to know that Daddy's gone.
It could not be more different. I was like, how is this the same? This is not remotely like any other movie that I'm aware he's done. But he's also one of the main characters, kind of. I won't say one of the main characters. He's kind of like an important side character, I guess. And stars in this film. But yeah, it's very strange. I was not expecting that. So we get into the film. And we get some very sick Envato Elements opening credits, some some assets, pre-made assets that they purchased and slapped thereon. And Kyle, these credits last forever.
They do.
It's like 4 minutes of opening credits. When we get to the end, I did some math. I'll tell you how much of this movie is credits, because spoiler, it's a lot.
Is it worse than Jezebel?
Probably not quite. I would bet not quite. I'll go look, but I bet it's slightly like fewer credits than Jezebel, like as a percentage, but it's got to be close. It's got a lot of fucking credits. So I thought this would be close, but I truly forgot what an insane amount of credits Jezebel has. So there you go. Not even close. The movie is insane. But anyway, so during the credits, also Charles Durning is in this movie.
I have no clue who that is.
He was nominated for Oscars back in the day, a couple Oscars back in the day. He's like a real actor. He's the guy who plays the older lawyer.
Well, they got like Michael Paré in here too, and I'd recognize him from some cop drama stuff.
Yeah, he play the like Christian cop guy, like the Bible cop guy.
Yeah. Like he also the way he acts in this is like he watched Law and Order and was just like, I'll just act like one of those detectives.
Hallie Thurman, 24 years old.
Well, her body's in 24 parts, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, but he's also like a crazy, like, he's like a Bible thumper. Like, he's got like a, is it that guy, right?
There's a lot of stuff in there where I can't tell if that's necessarily him being a Bible thumper or him being a very methodical, like, investigator.
Clean and be cleansed. So, he went down and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times, as the man of God had told him, and his flesh was restored and became clean like that of a young boy.
Who's after the people,
right? And it's like trying to like get really his head into it. I don't know. It seems to me like he was kind of crazy.
You know what's going on in there too. I think someone else might be in there with you, Dean.
Who's the fucking third one?
I want to be in there too.
Who is it?
I want to be in there too.
I don't know.
It's a very thin line.
Yeah. But the credits run for fucking ever, and I'm begging you, bad movies, please don't put 3.5 minutes of boring credits at the beginning of your movie. But then we see this woman in some old dilapidated building, and she gets on an elevator and then rides an elevator down with a mysterious person who we don't see, like a hand like grabs her shoulder or something like that. And this part, I was like, this is kind of shot like a movie.
Yes.
This looks like a movie.
I'll give Kindovecchio this. The first half of this, up to a certain point, not the worst thing.
It's really not. Like it could very quickly.
It takes a left turn off of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, if you ignore the opening credits and just get into the film, the first like 5 or 10 minutes of this movie feels like a fairly competent film. Like for a second. And I was like, this does not feel... To be fair, Kindovecchio did not direct it. True. He did not any of that.
That is the best credit I'll also give this, is the fact that it clearly that this is an idea from beginning to end and not a salvaged movie.
Yes, clearly wasn't something where we like spliced together 3 other movies or whatever and tried to make it into a film. This is its own thing, for sure. What it is, though, is fucking weird and incomprehensible.
Yes, completely incomprehensible.
It's a nightmare, which we'll get into.
Francis Wheaton lost an arm, and Polycarp is tattooed on him. Louisa, her leg is off.
So this woman ends up getting strapped to a lumber cart from Menards. I don't know what the fuck. Tell me that's not.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like that is one of those fucking lumber carts from a fucking hardware store. And then a masked killer with a knife walks in, and she's screaming, naked, tied to this thing. And then we cut away. We don't see what happens there. And again, very similar vibes to our last film with when we see the scenes of the women like tied to things in rooms with our mysterious serial killer. Then we cut to like the next day, and they find, I assume, her body. I would guess parts of it at least.
Yes, because each of the victims in this movie is missing something.
Yes,
that's the theme. Oh my God!
I just broke the case.
I mean,
snapped.
I'm not gonna say much was lost, but
no. Oh well. But anyway, so yeah, they find body parts. They find like a foot and some other whatever. And yes, like you said, each of the victims as we go throughout the film will have a certain body part removed, and we'll talk about it.
Serena, her leg was taken, and she had Lydia tattooed on her other thigh. Nick was decapitated in Philadelphia. was tattooed on his head.
This scene's insane because like I think it's the Michael Paré guy is sitting there like looking at the body, and like a uniform cop like woman walks up and she goes, "Ooh, gross, a foot or whatever," and he goes, "You stupid bitch," and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Gross.
Sweetie, why don't you just go home, huh? Stupid bitch.
What just happened? It's so weird. It's very strange.
The direction was, "Hey, Mike, we need you to act like an asshole."
Yeah.
Oh, like immediately? Yeah, you're just a dick.
Just be a dick to this person for literally no reason whatsoever. It's like, all right.
Stupid bitch.
I was like,
I just feel like my character's being very mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's part of your process. You're very
I'm Kenneth Del
methodical.
Vecchio. I hate women. So like that's Kyle, this guy, he's got a problem with women. I have a feeling. He's like, all of his movies are like this, I feel like.
No, because you're sort of an idiot.
Then we find out that the other main detective, which I can't remember his name.
Nick.
Is it Nick?
That's his character's name, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
He goes home and we're introduced to his wife, and they're having marital problems, and this will not matter at all, really.
No.
You want to hear what I just saw?
No, not really.
Other than it prompts one of the most insane scenes in the entire film later, which we will talk about. The other scene with her later.
You want to terminate your marriage.
We'll get there. It's
Wild.
wild.
Is this the same one where they're like, "Would you rather me be out with the boys or?"
That's a
stopping
different
to kill
one
her?"
because we get a couple of the scenes.
Yeah.
That's a later one where he comes back and she's like, "Where have you been?" Yeah.
The reason I got confused is they're just as meaningless.
Out with the boys all night?
Yeah, I wish.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, they're all just completely pointless scenes of them in a bedroom, just like talking to each other.
Thank you, Crate and Barrel. Shut up.
You got an order from Crate and Barrel, Kyle?
I sent somebody.
Your flatware in? Is your flatware order in?
You know, Monica, if it's me having a few beers with the guys or tracking down a local psycho, what do you prefer?
I guess I really don't care.
Then we cut, and this is where immediately, up to this point, it's been like kind of a whatever, normal like police procedural. We get to the first therapist scene, and it is like an alien wrote it, Kyle.
Yes.
I'm just asking if you're really asking the questions. That's a legitimate question, isn't it?
What's this questions? There's always these fucking questions here.
Well, you had a question, didn't you?
This is the one where Al Gore is smoking and drinking. And talking to the blonde therapist, Jill. And this conversation is fucking insane. I was like, who wrote this and why? Why would you write it like this?
I don't know.
That's not what you meant by nothing.
Don't tell me what I meant.
You meant that there is nothing inside of me. That's what you were asking me. You want me to tell you that there is nothing inside of you.
This is a scene that doesn't need to be there because they're in cahoots with each other.
Yeah, I don't understand. That's the thing. I don't understand the plot and like who's working with who or why.
When you would
at
have
all.
a situation where you have a patient and you have a doctor, psychiatrist of the sort, normally you have some sort of tension where the two characters are kind of vying for control of the conversation.
And that's what they're doing in this scene.
Do you have anything to say about me smoking a cigar or drinking scotch in your office? Is that normally done here? Do you have anything to say? Don't you like to be in control?
But it's pointless because they're both basically playing characters.
We think? I don't know. That's the thing. I do not know because I don't understand when this thing resolves. I don't understand who was doing what and why. I do not get it at all.
This fuckhead over here almost got himself killed too soon. That's because you didn't finish off Bob in the law office. I thought your potions were better than that.
And there's this back and forth where at one point he's like, I know what's inside of me. You don't know what's inside of me. And she goes, that's not true. I know what's inside of you. I know what's exactly inside of you. Or so it's like, it's this weird, they say the same thing like 8 times in a row. And I'm like, what, am I having a stroke, Kyle? What is happening?
I don't know.
Fucking insane.
I know what's inside of me.
You don't know what's inside of you.
That's not true. I know what's inside of me. I know exactly what's inside of me.
Okay. Then what's inside of you?
And then he explains that he has Jack inside of him and Bob. This guy does.
Who is me?
It's me, it's Jack!
And Bob.
And Kyle, this plot line is truly incoherent.
Yes.
We will find out later that Kenneth Del Vecchio's character has something to do with this, and I don't know what.
It's like they're copying and pasting personas into one another. It's fucking weird.
She stole my personalities, and she gave them to you. And that can't happen.
In a way that is never explained, or I guess through sex, through
what, sex is a Xerox
through
copier in
therapist
this?
sex. Therapy sex is a whole thing in this movie, Kyle.
Yes.
What the fuck is it's so weird? I don't understand this movie at all.
Your real tormentors. Tell me about them.
They're in my mind.
And I can help take them out of you.
But anyway, so he says he has two wolves inside of him, Jack and Bob. It's very insane. And then we got another shot of some other random woman tied up somewhere. And then some dude is on the phone and he gets shot in the head by the masked killer. And I don't know who that guy was or what any of that meant.
That's right. They're here. Downstairs.
I don't know, Kyle. It's some guy. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. This is where we're introduced to Ken Del Vecchio. We cut to the lawyer's office.
Yes.
And this is Ken Del Vecchio and I think his father,
who's played by Charles Durning. And they're both they're both lawyers. Hathaway and Hathaway.
Yeah. And there's this woman there who's talking about how she wants help with the speeding ticket.
I wasn't even speeding. You know why he pulled me over.
Because she got pulled over for being pretty or something. I don't know.
I guess.
And then Ken Del Vecchio has to tell her she's a stupid bitch or whatever because it's like, Ken Del Vecchio.
This is an actual law office. We're not going to handle fucking misdemeanors.
No. Because you're sort of an idiot.
But anyways, he's insane in this scene. I don't know what's going on with him. I feel like he's not playing a character at all in this movie.
Now, do you mind? Daddy and I would like to get back to work.
And then also this is where I started getting the performances, the dialogue in this film started really giving me after last season vibes.
Yes. Especially in this law office, it is ridiculous.
It's like,
you know, my first name is Alexander.
Yes, Alexander.
And I'm Bob. Perhaps Jack. I think you know that.
The weirdest stilted, like, alien conversations. I'm like, what is happening?
Would you like an orange?
What are these performances? It's so strange. It's very strange.
It's like what happens when you have two AIs that are talking to each other.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Ken Del Vecchio kind of looks like that guy from Google that thought the AI was sentient. If I could see Ken Del Vecchio wearing that fucking hat with the
random question. How much would it take for that guy to push him to the edge where he breaks into the Google office with like a fireman's axe and tries to recover like the servers?
Rescue the servers. Yes. Emancipate the servers from Google. I feel like he's very close already. Yeah, I don't think it would take much to push him over.
Because you're sort of an idiot.
Oh, anyway, so then we cut to two of our detectives going to a strip club because one of the victims was a stripper or something like that. So they're going to the strip club to try to get some information, and they show up at this strip club. And one of my favorite lines in the whole movie, and I don't know if it was improvised or written, but one of the cops walks in and is looking, and he's like, "All right, the strip club," and he pulls out a pair of eyeglasses. Puts them on and goes, "Let me get these titties in focus."
Yep.
Let me get these titties in focus.
Which is an incredible line. I was like, okay, no joke.
God.
Absolutely incredible line. Well done. That is amazing. Holy shit.
Let me get these titties in focus.
This is the Nick guy. He's there investigating.
Our guy with the marital problems. He walks over to the owner of the club and starts talking to her. And he turns and goes, "See that guy over there? He's a cop," pointing to his partner that he walked in with.
Yeah.
He's a pig.
No, he's just having a good time.
No, I mean, he's a cop.
We get cops in here all the time, baby. Nothing to worry about. We're covered.
He's a cop and he's investigating something. But if you can give me some information, I won't. I'm not a cop. I was like
he's got a warrant.
Yeah.
And he says, if you can give me something, I can give it to this guy. Maybe he'll won't arrest me today.
Yeah.
Look, you'd really be helping me out. If I help that fuck out, he'll leave me alone. If not, he'll bust my fucking balls and violate me for anything.
He could be talking about Hallie Thurman.
Or something like that. And I was like, in this scene, have you seen what you look like, Mr. Detective? He's dressed like every detective on Law and Order. Like he's got the
he's radiating like, hi, I am an undercover cop.
He looks like Jerry Orbach on Law. He's got the suit and tie, and then he's got the big brown overcoat.
He just looks like a plainclothes officer.
Yes, absolutely. It's insane. And she's like, "Oh, I guess you're yeah, sure, you're not a cop. All right, cool."
Yeah, you look exactly like somebody would have misdemeanors coming into a strip club.
They also have an insane insane conversation about vodka where she's like, "You look like a vodka guy." I was like, "Is anybody a vodka guy?" That's so weird. That's such a weird thing. Whatever.
You're a vodka man.
Good vodka.
Absolute.
Absolute. Absolute. Real nice. What I stink over here? Real nice.
Grey Goose, then.
That's the best you got.
Then they get into the back room.
Yes, and there's this guy who I guess he has like private dances back there.
Yeah, he's getting a private dance from this woman who they recognize.
Yes, because she is a law clerk.
She's a lawyer. They say she's a lawyer. Because he says something about...
One of them has a great line where he says, I thought you only sucked in court.
Yeah.
Jesse Collins? Who the fuck are you? I thought you only sucked in court.
Fuck you!
But I was like, she's apparently like a legit lawyer, like a full-on lawyer. And if that's the case, that means she's just stripping for the love of the game. Like, she's just, I was like, good for her. Like, she... like, I wouldn't imagine that if she's like a full-on, in the courtroom lawyer that she needs the money. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, the profits of litigation getting real low. And
yeah, I was like, whatever. But anyway, so they have a thing. They end up arresting them, and we'll get to that in just a second. I have to talk about this scene because I truly have no idea what it is, and maybe you gathered what the fuck was going on. We cut to an interior of a party bus. What was this scene?
I don't know. It was it looked like some sort of celebration of something.
Yeah,
like
they're in a party bus.
But like the guy at the beginning who had the cigar and the
is it that guy?
Yes.
Is it Al Gore?
Yes.
I did not. Okay,
yes. He sees somebody go into a bar.
He sees Ken Del Vecchio go into the bar,
and he says, "Everybody get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah. Leave! Leave! He freaks out. It's like, we gotta get out of here. And I'm like, why? I don't understand. Okay. I don't get it. I don't get what was happening there. Leave! Then we cut back to the police station where they have arrested and have the stripper handcuffed. And I was like, what, she didn't do. They were literally just sitting there. Like, that was like it was like perfectly normal strip club interaction. Like, what is going on?
This was definitely in a situation because this was written by Ken DeVecchio, right?
Yes.
Law procedure. What is he being detained on?
Well, and that's the thing. It's nothing. Like our cops are super corrupt. They just they threaten to throw him in jail for nothing.
We're calling you parole officer. We're gonna violate you and you're going back to jail.
Oh, this is fucking bullshit! I didn't do anything!
He explains they beat the shit out, or I don't know if they beat the shit out of him, but they basically threaten him to send him to jail, and he ends up talking and explains that the therapist Jill, the blonde therapist, he's friends with her, knows her or something. She does some sort of special therapy.
Come on, man. Her name's like Dr. Jill. She's got this boyfriend named Dean. They got a non-exclusive relationship, if you know what I mean.
No. What do you mean?
Dean, fucker, he works for her. She has her do things for her patients, like special treatments or some shit. I don't know.
Which we find out later is fucking, I think.
Holly and Louisa are both dead, and they were both your patients.
and you fucked both of them.
Right? Right? Is this thing on? She's fucking. It's sex therapy, Kyle.
Chill out. Don't touch me right now, please.
Jill, I said don't touch me right now!
But anyways, so that he basically says they do special treatment and that they should talk to some guy in a band, some lead singer of a band who we find out his name is Dean.
She's got this boyfriend named Dean. They got a non-exclusive relationship, if you know what I mean.
He is friends / sleeps with Jill the therapist, so they should ask him about the dead stripper. I don't know, but that just motivates them to
It was somebody that he had a connection to. That's all we got.
He somehow had a connection to the stripper who was dead, and also he has a connection to Jill the psychologist or whatever, the therapist.
Well, like both of them did. Both of them were apparently,
Yeah. So then we cut to the concert, and we get to watch like 44 goddamn minutes, almost a full song of this terrible Korn knockoff cover band or whatever the fuck it is.
It just seems like it does seem very much like this is my band. Can we get them into the movie?
It's one of those for sure.
For a character who seems who is introduced and it feels very minor, the character of Dean.
Dean, yeah.
He seems minor,
but he becomes like a main character.
It becomes a main character. It's just like, what?
I don't know what's going on with him. But Dean is the lead singer of this Korn cover band, and they go and they're like talking to him.
Why was she seeing you?
Don't be stupid. You're a cop. You probably are stupid. You're not that smart.
Jill is using him as a special treatment to help her patients.
Yes.
What the?
But we never explain what it. I think ultimately what this all is they're all like a weird witch cult.
For you, great prophet, I give you Ephesus. I give you your head.
Or something
at the very end. Yeah. They're like their own coven or something.
And
like
so
that.
I think the idea is that somehow what she's doing is having him sleep with these women in order to somehow prepare them to be killed for whatever the weird thing, the weird like their weird evil plan that they're doing.
Okay.
With each sacrifice, a church has been captured. With each body part, Lucifer is created as a being that can live on Earth.
I think that's what's going on. I don't know, man. It's incomprehensible.
The brains of 3 men and 1. Assemble the pieces.
But they think that Dean may have killed the stripper because they had hung out or whatever.
Yeah, he has a connection to do we have 2 dead people yet,
I think at this point there
one?
might be 2, but maybe 1, because we're about to find the dead couple, the older guy, and this is the one where he has the dead guy. They find him in an alley, has Polycarp tattooed on his arm.
Polycarp?
And that's the other thing we find out, is that not only does the serial killer, when they kill people, they remove a body part or whatever.
They also tattoo them.
They also tattoo something onto them.
Although I'm interested, what does a post-mortem tattoo do? Is it different than a regular tattoo?
I would assume it would never heal, obviously, but I don't know.
Interesting.
And then, so they pick up Dean, and they're taking him somewhere.
They take him under a bridge?
Under an overpass.
This scene was giving me like Man on Fire vibes.
I didn't know what was going on here. The crazy Christian cop guy just dumps him on the side of the road and is like, hey, he like reads him a Bible verse or something.
Clean and be cleansed. So, he went down and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times.
And then it's like, get the fuck out of here and don't kill any more people in New Jersey.
Look at me. Don't kill any more bitches in New Jersey.
And it's like, wait, so you think he is the killer and you just let him go? What is going on?
All right.
Does it look like I'm taking it?
weird. Then we cut back to Ken Delvecchia's law office, and this scene is also fucking insane. Some woman is there asking what they do about Dean, and the old lawyer guy, Charles Dern, just stands up and starts ranting nonsense.
Yes.
You wait for that motherfucking prick, Barry Harper, to get some real balls. When that piece of shit enumerates what he truly wants, then we act.
I legitimately thought some of these lawyer scenes, they were going intentionally for like a David Lynch style, like, weirdness. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because their interactions don't feel human in a way that like some of David Lynch's stuff feels sometimes.
Something's wrong. Yes. It could be the accident, but I don't think so. No. Albert, that sound you just made of your feet into concrete.
Yes, Alexander.
And I'm Bob. Perhaps Jack. I think you know that.
Alexander,
Yes, Jill.
what do you think we should do about Dean?
Wait.
Wait?
And
I'm trying to think of what would be a good comparison. Like,
I don't know. It's fucking insane.
Like Twin Peaks directly, or are we
kind of Twin Peaks moments of like how some of the cops, and not cops, but like it's been a long time since I've watched Twin Peaks, but some of the way that they interact feels like, and the stuff they're talking about seems like it doesn't really connect to what we're
it's
like
just
worried
bizarrely
about.
surrealistic.
Yes, it's like this weird, bizarre surrealism, and I'm like, but I don't know if that's what they're going for.
And more importantly, you act, honey. You're the one that holds the cards.
Now, do you mind? Daddy and I would like to get back to work.
No. Thank you.
Because I don't think Ken Delvecchio's smart enough for that. Like, I just don't. Like, he's kind of an idiot, and I don't know. It just, it's so strange. But he basically says what we do about Dean is we wait and then we act. And I'm like, what? I don't understand what's going on.
Okay.
Again, eventually we'll find out that all of these people are somewhat in cahoots together for some grand plan. Because I believe Jill is the one there.
She's the one orchestrating everything, though.
Yes. And I think, but also she's working with these lawyers, because we'll find out later what Ken Delvecchio's deal is. They're using him to do stuff. I don't know. Again, this movie doesn't make any sense.
The beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower and kill them. Their bodies will lie in the street of the great city, which is figuratively known as Sodom in Egypt.
We get a scene that I do not know what it is. Jill, the blonde psychologist, we cut to a darkly lit room. She is talking to a naked woman.
Yes.
Who is, and I don't even know which character this is, or if it's anybody we see anymore. I don't know.
It's just this is bizarre, like cultish coercion.
Yes, so this is the special therapy that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She says you need to kill your tormentors or something. And then they start making out, and then the scene ends.
Attack and kill my tormentors.
Figuratively. But who are your tormentors?
The judges, the juries, the criminals, the fucking cops.
And I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, what is happening? I do not understand at all. It's so weird.
Just somebody who uses her psychiatrist license to get her rocks off?
I don't buy into any of this shit about wanting to fuck my mother.
But you would think that at the beginning, but then it just, once we hit our left turn into like fucking psycho land.
Again, what I think is going on, if I had to guess, once we find out at the end like what their kind of plan is, my only thought is that these like sex things she's doing with her clients it's part of the ritual she has to do with them to prepare them to be the sacrifices to create the seven churches of the Revelation, which I know the sentence I just said is insane.
That's what the shocking twist. This is about the fucking end of days.
Kind of, yes. It's about a crazy cult of women who want to bring about the end of days and the second coming, but not of Jesus, of Lucifer.
Yes.
Lucifer knew that those who captured the seven churches capture revelation, and with revelation is a coming. But it doesn't have to be the second coming of Christ.
It can be the first coming of Lucifer.
And that's like, wait, what? It's fucking wild. But again, it's incomprehensible.
Either way, it's the apocalypse. Now, do you want Christ's apocalypse? The saving of all his believers in 1,000 years of peace?
Or do you want Lucifer's apocalypse?
But anyway, so then we get another scene of now we get the brunette psychologist is introduced. Grace, I believe, is her name.
Yeah.
And she's talking to a client who's just cussing her out because she told him that he wanted to fuck his mom.
It's the Oedipus complex. Yeah, I got that, but what the? Come on.
I don't buy into any of this shit about wanting to fuck my mother. Did you read that while you were finger banging yourself, thinking about your bow-tied psychology professor's thick, hard cock?
But then our detective, Nick or whatever, shows up to ask her questions. He's trying to get some information about his serial killer, and he's like, hey, I got this killer who's taking body parts. What do you think's going on with that? And she's like, I don't know. It's like, it seems like a crazy person who's a serial killer. It's like, all right, cool.
Apparently I help people with their sex problems.
Yeah. But then he asks her, he goes, hey, do you know what polycarp is? And she goes, no.
You don't know what a polycarp is, do you?
No. Can I keep this?
And I was like, what year is it? Oh my God. Kyle, this movie came out in 2008. I don't know what year this movie is supposed to be set, but it looks to me like they could Google what polycarp is. Like, it looks like it's set in a timeline where you could Google polycarp and be like, oh, it's this dude from the Bible or whatever. Like, it's not, doesn't seem like it would be that complicated because they ask multiple people without getting an answer throughout the course of this. So then we get a scene, we cut back to the killing room from the beginning, and a woman is tied to the chair, and I think it's the woman that the psychologist was making out with. Naked. So I think it is.
Yeah,
like,
because she makes a statement like, I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You have to confront your tormentors and type stuff like
so
that.
it's her. So clearly I think the sex therapy scene is a thing that has to go before they do the sacrifice for some reason. Again, it's got to be some weird part of the... They're doing sex magic, very clearly. There's lots of fucking at the end of this movie that is very clearly sex magic.
There's one scene in particular where I was laughing my fucking ass off. It's so ridiculous.
The three yeah, it's amazing.
The last church is Laodicea.
So she's tied to this chair. She's able to get away because they did a terrible job tying her up, and she runs for a few seconds and is crawling and then gets caught and killed. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever.
No! Let go! Please! Help me! Please!
This this is the scene that where then we cut back and we get another like reminder that our main character detective has marital problems.
Out with the boys all night?
Yeah, I wish.
And there's this moment where he walks, she's like, where were you all night? He's like, the boys, blah, whatever. He walks into the bathroom, and while he's walking into the bathroom, we get this random, they clearly had a sound effect that just got dropped in the wrong place on the timeline, because he walks into the bathroom, and this weird, like, explosion sound effect goes off, and I was like, what?
That's so crazy.
What is this? So now the blonde therapist told Dean, we find out the blonde therapist basically had Dean have sex with two of the people who are dead at this point. Again, this is explaining or kind of setting up where we're going with this.
I said I would help you with your patience, but this is just getting ridiculous. This is crazy.
Dean freaks out at one point.
Well, you know, two people that he had relations with are dead, so he thinks he is the main suspect.
Yeah. And so he freaks out while he's having this conversation with Jill and runs out of their house or whatever, the room, after she's talking to him.
Jill, I said don't touch me right now!
This is fucked up. This is just completely, totally, this is fucked up.
And she just starts like quoting Bible verses to a crucifix on the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on, Kyle?
I saw in heaven another great and marvelous sign. 7 angels with the 7 last plagues, The last because with them, God's wrath is completed.
And then this is where we start getting on the area where, oh, she's offered. I mean, obviously there was the special therapy. Maybe that could be like some sort of like hypnotizing of like.
You mean the part where she got her client naked and then made out with her? Yeah. That's standard practice, Kyle. Yeah.
Well, maybe that could just be like her being like, this is for my benefit. I'm just using people.
Right.
And this is the her where like, oh. No, she's off her fucking rocker.
Yeah, she's off her rocker because she's just like spouting random like Bible lines and stuff for no reason. Then Kyle, this scene is absolutely one of the most insane, and you probably don't even remember it because it's such a short scene, but the context within the film is so unhinged. I don't understand. So we've set up
I might have missed this. Yeah.
Okay, so we have set up that. We have set up that Bill, the detective or whatever, and his wife are having marital problems, right? We've set that up a whole bunch of times. We then cut, now like an hour into the film, to the courthouse where Ken Del Vecchio, as a lawyer...
Oh, yes! I remember this.
Yes!
So fucking
We hear
weird.
him giving a speech in the courtroom about, like, corruption and blah, blah, blah.
A message to the police, to the prosecutor's office, and to the public at large. Stop the corruption. Stop arresting innocent people and altogether ruining their lives. Stop the power abuse.
And he basically, I think, gets some like mob boss or something thrown in jail because we see the mob boss guy getting taken out in handcuffs. And the mob boss guy says something to the detective's wife who is walking into the courthouse. He's like, say hello to your husband for me or whatever, as he's getting drugged to jail. And then Ken Del Vecchio walks out of the courtroom. And Kyle, what happens in this scene is the wife of one of the detectives came randomly to the courthouse where a lawyer that she knew existed, Ken Del Vecchio, was in the middle of a trial in order to have a conversation with him about hiring him to divorce her husband.
Yes. Divorce proceedings, all that.
You still handle divorces?
And then,
to show you how much of a fucking weirdo Ken DeVecchio is, and he wrote this.
He wrote this in accident. He's standing there, and she goes, will you file divorce papers for me for my husband? And he goes,
let me see some of those thighs, and I'll make
pull your skirt up real slow.
Slowly, pull up your skirt and show me some leg.
And she like awkwardly pulls her skirt up an inch or two, and he goes, yeah, I'll fucking do it. It's
what
like, what is happening?
What is this?
I'll terminate your marriage.
So I think what's going on is he's trying to set, look, see, he's a weird creepy, because we will find out Ken Del Vecchio is the guy in the mask. He's the murderer. Big reveal. It's not really that much of a surprise, honestly, once we get there.
Well, I'm sure that would have gravitas if you didn't already have a bunch of other fucking crazy people.
True, everybody in this movie is like a psychopath. But it's just the weirdest, and again, so the creepy weird part where he's showing her, he's like, show me some of your legs, is crazy and weird and whatever. The thing that's really wild to me is the thought process of the character of the wife deciding that the best person to go talk to about getting a divorce is this random non-divorce attorney. And the best time to talk to him about that is as he's leaving the courtroom of a trial. Like, it's such a weird, why would she go talk to him? It's so weird. It's so strange.
Well, I can tell you why they had it at that location is because they had a limited number of locations and time to shoot.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, for sure, that is true. But it's just so fucking weird.
Yeah, logically, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. And we will never see her again, by the way. This is the last moment she's in the movie.
That is just to make Ken Del Vecchio's character that much more unlikable.
Yeah. Yes. And he's already played by Ken Del Vecchio, so he don't need to do much to make him unlikable.
Slowly, pull up your skirt and show me some leg.
Anyways, then we cut to the lawyer's law office, and they're just reciting the same speech from the previous scene in the courtroom.
A message to the police, to the prosecutor's office, and to the public at large. Stop the corruption.
Stop the corruption. Stop arresting innocent people and altogether ruining their lives. Stop the power abuse.
I don't know what any of this is or what's going on. I don't get it.
Okay.
But Dean is there asking for legal help. And they just don't do anything. And again, this is one of the scenes that really gave me the Lynchian vibes because Dean is like talking to them and it's like they're not even there. It's like they're having their own weird conversation.
Stop the power abuse.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Do you have any advice for me?
I'm not a criminal attorney.
And there's like this constant orange. They keep showing the old guy holding an orange. And again, it all feels like it's supposed to mean something, but it clearly doesn't. It's clearly just nonsense. It's so weird.
I think we're finished here.
Well, what about you? Are you a criminal attorney? This is fucked up.
What would you say it is that you do here?
Me to every scene in this movie. It's like, what the fuck is what's going on?
Mr. Hathaway? Mr. Hathaway?
Anyway, so then we cut to a random scene where Dean is now in the car with the Christian detective guy.
Yeah, they rolled up on him. And, okay, so to Dean's perspective, these people are after him. They think he's connected to these murders.
Yeah.
These people have already threatened him once, locked him up, and were like, all right, get the fuck out of here on this overpass in the sketchy part of New Jersey or whatever. He rolls up on them and say, get in the car. He goes, fuck you, and then gets in the car with them?
Fucking psychopath.
Get in.
Fuck you.
Get in the back.
Fuck you.
I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. And then the Christian cop guy is like hitting him in the head with a Bible.
Literally Bible thumping him.
Don't you think God knows what's going on inside your mind?
So full of shit.
You know what's going on in there, too.
Over and over, and he keeps asking, and again, they have these conversations in this movie so many times where people say the same thing back and forth like 30 times in a row. He keeps saying to him, he's like, you know, and then Dean is like, who is it? And he's like, you know. It's like, who is it? You know.
I want to be in there, too.
Who is it?
I want to be in there, too.
Who is it?
You know who it is.
No, I don't.
You know who it is.
Who's the third?
You know who it is.
Who is it?
You know.
Who the fuck is it, Harper?
This is where we are getting disjointed more and more from reality.
Yes, it's fuck. We'll get to the end here. It's fucking nuts. But it's such a weird. The whole last the first 15 minutes of this movie, you're like, okay, I get what's going on here. The last hour and 10 minutes of this movie is incomprehensible. It's just chaos. It's insane.
You don't know why.
No, I don't.
You don't know why?
No.
You're just a wannabe rock star.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you know why.
I don't know why.
I think you know why.
Fucking tell me.
I'm gonna tell you.
So then we see, we also get a random shot of the body parts in the...
Yeah, they're being pulled into this...
in a shelf in a freezer or something
It doesn't even look like yeah,
it's just like
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
so
a closet
weird.
or whatever. But I was gonna say the prop head is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's a pretty good prop head they have there. Also, then we get back to Jill's place, and Dean notices he's at Jill's apartment. He notices that the crucifix from the wall is gone, and that's supposed to mean something, and I don't know what. And it doesn't really seem to matter.
Do you like this shirt? Got a B- on my philosophy exam.
Then we cut to the brunette therapist Grace's house.
Yes.
And we're introduced to her
roommate, who is a college student?
Grace. Are you listening to me?
Of course.
Well, I think the professor gave me a B- just so I would come and confront him.
Why would he do that?
Because he probably wants to fuck me.
I guess I didn't understand what was going on here at all. Their dynamic makes no sense. Yes. I guess they're roommates.
Who was also the woman who was like, can you get my speeding ticket?
That was her. That's right. That's who that was. Yeah. What the fuck? So then Grace is there with her, and they basically, her roommate knows who Polycarp is and explains it.
What is it?
Not what. Who?
Polycarp's a biblical figure, a bishop. I think he was the first martyr.
And this triggers something in Grace's brain, and she's got to run out to go do something. And again, I don't. But she already knows.
Yeah, she's in the covet.
I don't know, man. I don't know at all. I don't understand. But then Nick, our detective, shows up. And she's in a towel because she just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, she's like, oh, I'll go put some clothes on. And he's like, you don't gotta do that.
Bang.
And then, yeah, we get weird flash forward scenes of them having sex.
I mean, you don't have to leave. Really? I got a B- on my philosophy exam.
Okay.
But then they actually do have sex.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's so
and then
weird.
Nick just gets killed.
Yes, he does. He
Both
just
of them
gets murdered.
actually.
Both of them get murdered. They're fucking, and then the masked person shows up and stabs him in the chest, and they both get murdered. I do want to talk about, there's this great scene where the Christian detective guy is looking around in Jill's house with a flashlight, and every time the flashlight passes the camera, we get this very intense whoosh dot wave sound of it.
Yes,
It's like whoosh.
It's so weird. There's a lot of weird editing things throughout this film.
And then I love this scene. Grace, the brunette, the roommate of the blonde girl who just got murdered, arrives back home.
Yes.
Finds her body.
Yes.
Zero reaction. In that moment.
Yes.
In the moment she walks in, she like looks at her body and is like, all right. It's very much Steven Seagal from the last when he finds his dead girlfriend.
Also, she then later she has a freak out.
Yeah, well, she has no reaction when she sees her body. Then she walks and goes to Dean's, I think it's Dean's apartment or whatever. She goes to somebody's apartment and runs into their arms, and she is like losing her mind about it.
Serena's dead. They killed Serena.
I can't tell if this is to deceive Dean.
I
but
don't
I
know.
thought Dean was kind of in on some of
I
this
thought
information.
so too. I don't know. No, he's not. All the men are not. Well, they are kind of in on it, but they're like kept enough in the dark because the women are master manipulators, Kyle. Because Ken Delvecchio hates women, but he like Dean is like somewhat aware of what's going on, but not of the overall arching like grand plan that this witch company has or whatever the fuck they are. I don't know, Kyle.
Jill's gone. He's taken her.
Who's taking her?
Fucked up cop. Barry Harper. He's taken her. Listen to me. He's fucking insane. He's the one. He's the one that's been murdering all these people.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I love though. She says to Dean, "We need to figure out what the hell is going on," and I was like, "I fucking agree."
Yes.
We need to figure out what the hell is going on.
I don't even have a clue what's going on.
So they go through the okay. This is the greatest couple of minutes in cinematic history.
Oh, God.
This will go down.
Wait, which part is this?
It's the three banging.
Well, we're almost there.
Okay.
We're almost there. We got to talk real quick about yeah, we're like very close, but we got to talk about we go to the lawyer's office and they're both apparently dead.
Yeah.
But then as whoever is there is leaving, Ken Delvecchio's eyes
pop open.
He's alive still. But then then we get Jill gets naked and is talking to Al Gore and starts talking about all of these. What is she? She's talking about like all of the symbols and stuff and like the different churches of the Revelation and shit.
So we have Pergamum. We have eyes blazing with fire, so we have
Thyatira.
We have Lydia, so we have Sardis. We have Philadelphia, so we have Philadelphia.
This is just madness.
So she gets naked and then she's talking to Al Gore. And then meanwhile, Grace is with
Dean.
Dean.
Yes.
and they're talking about the same thing.
Yes.
And then also at the same time, who's the third one? The third
It is
group.
the secretary.
The secretary from the law office.
Yes, who is also in this coven.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she is with
the
Christian
detective
guy, the Christian detective guy,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, the crazy detective guy, and they're all talking about this plan and the symbols, and they're like basically the idea we find out.
Yes. Now I can imagine, Jill already knows everything, and so does the other guy she's with at that moment. The detective guy needs to quote unquote figure it out,
Yeah.
and then Dean and Grace need to figure it out. And their way of doing that is to just fuck like there's no tomorrow.
There's 7 churches in Revelation. Ephesus is the first, and this is where we see the 7 stars.
Fourth church. These are the words of the Lord whose eyes blaze like fire.
Just fuck and talk about weird symbols and Revelation churches while they're fucking, and this will apparently let the dudes figure out what's going on so that they can solve the mystery, so that they all show up at the place that they need them to or something. I don't know, man. It's fucking insane. But then we're cutting constantly back and forth between
It's
all
so
of these people having
incredible.
sex.
Last church.
The last church is Laodicea.
And it's amazing.
At least one of them. I think this is the cop who's like in whatever. I guess he's in his apartment or whatever. They're in front of these massive bay windows that are open to the public.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Then we get a scene where the killer shows up, where Al Gore and Jill are after they're done having sex. The masked killer shows up and takes his mask off, and it's Ken Del Vecchio.
Yes.
And then he shoots Al Gore.
Yes.
I'm just gonna call him Al Gore because I don't know that character's name. He shoots Al Gore, and then they have this insane conversation where he says,
"You took my was it personas even?
Bob and Jack.
You took Bob and Jack and you gave it to him.
You stole my personalities."
No. She stole my personalities, and she gave them to you. And that can't happen.
So
but those are mine.
Al Gore says that Ken stole his personalities, Bob and Jack.
Who is me?
It's me, it's Jack! And Bob.
And then Ken Del Vecchio says, no, what happened was Jill stole those personalities from me.
It's Bob. Maybe Jack.
And gave them to you or something.
Just in case you thought these people weren't on the level.
What is happening? I don't understand what any of this means. We're stealing personalities from people. What is going on? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
And then he shoots Al Gore, and he's like, now we're gonna fuck to Jill. And Jill's like, let's do it.
Now we're gonna fuck.
Okay.
And then Al Gore gets up and strangles Ken Del Vecchio to death. And I was like,
What
happening?
is this?
What is going on? I love it. But then they're all now like unconscious. We don't see what happens.
Yeah, they just instantly are like, oh, we're bound and gagged.
Yeah, it cuts, and now Al Gore, the detective guy who's still alive, and Dean are all tied up and bound, sitting in these chairs, and they're being tattooed by the receptionist. She is the tattoo artist, and she's tattooing the word "Amen" or "Amen" on all of them. And we get this, they basically explain what is going on here. They're like, you had to figure this all out. It's all been our big plan. And it's Grace, the psychologist, Jill, the psychologist, and then the receptionist. We're all working together to usher in the second coming of Lucifer.
Yes. What in the...
See, we needed you to figure it out. Because those who realize the 7 churches capture the prophetic mandate.
And these are and in order for that to happen, they need to create a vessel for Lucifer. And that's why they've been taking body parts.
Yes, they are sacrificing.
Yes. And by sacrificing them, they both created one of the churches of Revelation with each murder and got a body part that they could then combine all those body parts Frankenstein style in a bubbling Halloween cauldron, Kyle, and that would become the vessel for Lucifer to return in.
With each sacrifice, a church has been captured. With each body part, Lucifer is created as a being that can live on Earth. Each body part becomes his body part.
And the final 3 sacrifices are Dean the detective and Al Gore, so that their brains can be infused into Lucifer or something, Kyle. It's fucking insane.
The Omen made this seem a lot fucking easier.
What happens in The Omen?
Damon's just like born with the soul of Lucifer or whatever.
Right, yeah. It's pretty standard stuff. This movie, it's complicated. A lot going on.
And the 3 of you who figured out the core of the prophecy are his brain. The brains of 3 men in 1. Assemble the pieces.
But anyways, so they all kiss Al Gore and say amen and then shoot him in the head and kill him. And then they're working their way down the line. They get to the Christian detective guy next. And then what happens is
Dean breaks free?
Dean breaks free and punches them all.
Save the prophecy! Save the...
And then gets a gun and murders 2 of them.
I hate to do this. I guess I don't.
And then him and the detective run after I guess the last one got away. This is all shot terribly. We don't see what happens.
Yes.
But one of them gets away. And I think it's Grace.
Yes, because they had the elevator at the end. The one the scene that was at the beginning is also at the end.
She gets away. They're chasing her. What's his name? The detective guy gets around a corner. Is like, I'm gonna fucking get you, and gets shot and killed immediately.
No, I want to fucking kill him.
Bam! Shot and murdered. And then, Kyle, what is this ending? Dean then is like, oh, I'm gonna get you. And he goes to chase after her, but then seemingly decides not to kill her, just gets on the elevator with her, and they're like, oh, we're together now. The end.
Fucking...
Like, what was the ending? What was that ending? Dean is just like, I think, well, but so they start fucking on the elevator, I think? Because we hear sex sounds. And then we hear a gunshot, which I think is her murdering Dean. I think the idea is she somehow convinced him to have sex with her, even though he was chasing her with a gun to murder her.
Fucking ever kill her.
She somehow used her feminine wiles to convince him to have sex with her, and then killed him afterwards. Because then we hear the gunshot, and then she starts laughing, and then we get a camera push in on the fucking Johnny Brock's bubbling cauldron as she's laughing. And I think the idea is that she successfully summoned Lucifer. And then the credits roll. I think? I don't know, Kyle. What the fuck is this movie is insane.
Why was she seeing you?
Don't be stupid. You're a cop. You probably are stupid. You're not that smart.
But this movie, I don't know what I...
No,
but it's fucking insane. I don't...
At the very...
I'll say it's good, bad. Maybe
It's.
I don't know. Kyle, I don't know.
It borders. You might want to save your brain cells. I don't know.
It's truly so incomprehensible that it will make you question your sanity. Like it doesn't. But it's also. I'm done talking about it. I don't have anything else to say, so I'm going to say good, bad, and then move on.
Good, bad, with like a couple of question marks.
Upside down question mark?
Yes.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this episode of Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us there for a couple bucks a month. Get access to bonus content. Oh, I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, I think our most recent episode will have been Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
That was that the one
Gary
that Gary
Oldman.
Oldman.
Yes.
Who else was in that? Bill Nye?
I think Bill Nye is in it. There are quite a few people in it, but yeah.
A lot of British actors.
I have not seen it, but that is based on a novel, so that'll be out when this episode is out. And then coming up very shortly after this episode is out, we'll be doing the second in our summer series, which is 50 Shades Darker.
Oh, God.
The second in the 50 Shades series, so look out for that as well. You can also support us by heading over to tpublic.com. Search for the Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. Get some merch there. Neither of us are wearing it or have any on it.
No, it's blue, but
there's a pillow down there.
It's an Alaska shirt.
Can you get that pillow?
Alaska.
So, like, you can get pillows and all kinds of stuff with the Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad logo. All high-quality stuff, and we get a portion of the proceeds from everything that we sell. So, that's something else you can do.
It's really comfortable.
It's a nice pillow.
Yeah, it's really good. This isn't, like, just screen printed
No.
on. This is, like, good quality stuff.
Or I think it is screen printed, but it's not like an iron-on.
It's like actually dyed.
Yeah, it's like in the fabric. It's like legit stuff. Yep. So, yeah, you can go check that out, and we have all kinds of stuff, coffee mugs and all that good stuff. So, finally, you can also find us on Twitch, twitch.tv, and look for that. And then the last thing I was going to mention, again, just because I think we're getting close, I still don't have a confirmed date for it. If I have one at the time that I'm editing this, I'll put it in. The release of Pocket Man and Cargo Boy 3, Wrath of the Viper Sniper, is coming very soon. It should be sometime this summer in the next month or two. Hopefully, I don't know if we have
Let's get a sneak peek of us in our very brief
cameo, which will be fun. A brief cameo, but an important cameo, yes. I think. So it should be exciting. Like I said, last time I talked to Adam, he said they were getting close. He sent me the first minute or something of the movie, a couple minutes of the movie. I might be able to share a little bit of that here. We're not in that part, but it's got some. Anyways. Go look out for Wrath of the Viper Sniper. Again, I'll hopefully have confirmed date for when it comes out, and if not, it'll be soon. That's gonna do it for this episode of Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. Till next time, keep watching movies if you hate yourself.
Kind of Kinky Killers / Polycarp.
Yeah, kind of.
Your brain cells won't be done any favors.
No.
That's what the alcohol's for.
I was not. I watched this morning. I was stone cold sober. I think it would have helped to be a little bit drunk to watch this movie. Fuck Ken Del Vecchio. The end.